Alright, also look, welcome back to the channel, and in today's video, I'm going to be talking about as well as covering what each and every UFC champion's strongest attributes are, and basically going over what skill sets have our current UFC champions made their signature move or thing. So, with that being said, without further ado, let's get right in to the video. And if you're new to the channel, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share so you can help me reach 2,000 subscribers by May. I'll deeply appreciate you. And to make sure you join the official UFC Discord, link in the description. Alright, so look, coming in at the 8th spot, we've got the undisputed flyweight champion of the world, Alexandre Pantoja. And for his ultimate weapon, I'm gonna have to give it to his durability, endurance, as well as his grit, or as I'm gonna call it for the remainder of his segment, his warrior mentality. Because you see, in a division where it's honestly a prerequisite to be young, quick, and nimble, you don't often see guys really rely on their chins a lot, taking into consideration how risky it is going up against some of the best fighters in the world. But that's honestly where Alexandre Pantoja really stands out. Whether it's biting down on the mouthpiece and just slugging it out like a bona fide zombie, or it's just the grappling exchanges alone, Alexandre Pantoja just embodies that textbook definition of that warrior mentality. Evident enough in fights like his bout against Steve Erceg, where even after he was split open by a nasty elbow to the dome piece, he was still able to persevere, thug it out, and continue giving Erceg a run for his money, making it so he was able to retain his title that night. But yeah, if we're talking about champions' strongest attributes or their ultimate weapons, that warrior spirit / mentality and Alexandre Pantoja go hand in hand for sure. Next up on the list, coming in at the 7th spot, we've got the undisputed bantamweight champion of the world, as well as the Energizer Bunny himself, Merab the Machine Dvalishvili. And for his ultimate weapon, I think this comes to no surprise, but it's his god-level gas tank volume as well as pace. And look, if you ask me, I honestly think that it's one of the best triple threats in the game today, and Merab's quite literally the master at it, and it's not even close. Not Colby, not Nate, not even Max can contest. And you know, while his striking isn't the best, and it's actually one of his weakest links and kryptonites, he makes up for it with his relentless pace and wrestling prowess, shown to us in fights like his most recent with Sugar Sean O'Malley, or when he absolutely styled on Henry Cejudo. Not to mention his bona fide masterclass against a legend like Jose Aldo. And may I remind you, the 50-45 dismantling he put on over the former bantamweight champ in Petr Yan. If you want to talk about a nigh infinite stamina pool and pure pedal to the metal type of pace and just all around relentless volume and pressure, Merab Dvalishvili is your guy and is one like no other. Now, coming in at the 6th spot on the list, my most favorite current UFC champion as well as the future GOAT of the UFC. We're talking about the one and only, the undisputed, undefeated featherweight champion of the world, Ilia Topuria. And look, man, this too is honestly a no-brainer, and it's his striking paired with his fight-ending nuclear KO ability. And look, you see, it's easy to be a striking virtuoso or a total maestro when it comes to the stand-up game. I mean, look at guys like Stephen Wonderboy Thompson or Israel Adesanya. Pure masters at hand-to-hand combat, but what you don't really see every day is the ability to consistently be able to not only outstrike and outbox your opponent, but almost always be able to find their off switch and turn them into sleeping beauty. And that's where Ilia Topuria comes into play. And you see, I was honestly going back and forth with Ilia's ultimate weapon really, because it can either be his nuclear KO ability or his well-roundedness that honestly doesn't get talked about as often. And you know, a lot of casual fans don't necessarily know, but Ilia Topuria was actually a submission wizard before entering the UFC, with 7 straight submission wins before even receiving his first KO. And that all stems from his Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and Greco-Roman wrestling background. But what really made him into the star today, what really made him into not only the featherweight champion, but a dominant pound-for-pound fighter, was when he joined the UFC and just started racking up highlight reel after highlight reel off of his flawless boxing technicality paired with his devastating nuclear KO ability. From Jai Herbert to Damian Jackson, from Alexander Volkanovski to Max Holloway, Ilia Topuria striking proficiency along with his knockout efficiency puts him in a class by himself that I don't see anyone approaching in a very long time. And guess what? He's only 27. Yikes. Next up at the 5th spot on the list, we've got the current #1 pound-for-pound fighter in the world, as well as the undisputed lightweight champion of the world, Islam Makhachev. And for his strongest attribute, it's gonna go to his well-roundedness, am I right? I mean, look, the man's pound for pound for a reason. I mean, the guy is quite literally the embodiment of a Swiss Army knife taken form. You wanna wrestle? Let's wrestle. You wanna stand and bang? Islam's got hands too. A clinch game, jiu-jitsu, kickboxing. You name it, Islam Makhachev can do it. And you know, you would think, oh, an athlete bred out of Dagestan, brothers of Khabib, and favorite student of Abdulmanap Nurmagomedov. This guy's gotta be a D1 crotch sniffer, am I right? But that's where you're wrong. And now that I think about it, in his last couple wins, I'm pretty sure Islam Makhachev's striking has taken center stage a lot more often than his wrestling has. Evident enough in his flatline head kick KO finish over Alexander the Great Volkanovski, and him outstriking a UFC boxing legend in Dustin the Diamond Poirier. And yeah, I know his grade A elite level wrestling does have a huge part to play when it comes to his striking and the takedown threat or whatever, but his overall balanced proficiency with every aspect of mixed martial arts is what really sets him apart from all the rest, making it his strongest attribute. Now, for the 4th spot, we've got the undisputed welterweight champion of the world, Belal, remember the eyeball, name, Muhammad. And for his ultimate weapon, or strongest attribute, I'd say it's more of a combo of 2 previously mentioned strongest attributes, those being his pace and pressure paired with his warrior mentality. And look, just like you, yes, you watching, I wasn't necessarily the biggest Belal Muhammad fan either. He was bland, boring, and oh my god, I hated his voice. He was overall just your average MMA fighter for me, until I started paying attention to him a lot more and realized that it wasn't his role to be a larger-than-life personality or this global superstar. All Belal Muhammad needed to do was just win, and that's what he did. Finish or not, the guy has heart, whether it be Wonderboy, Vicente Luque, Sean Brady, Gilbert Burns, or Leon Edwards. The cat knew how to win, and it was all due to the relentless pace he would put on in his fights mixed in there with his warrior mentality. He just goes out there and does his job and breaks guys. Nothing more, nothing less. Now coming at the 3rd spot on the list, we've got none other than the undisputed middleweight champion of the world, Dricus du Plessis. And as for his ultimate weapon or strongest attribute as a champion, I'm gonna have to go with his Toon Force. And yes, I said Toon Force, not his unpredictability or his unorthodox fighting style. It's his Toon Force. Because look, the guy just goes out there, fights Ghost, and apparently wins fights? Like, how does that even work? And it'll be when he's a heavy underdog as well. Like, look, I remember after his fight against Bobby Knuckles, the majority consensus voiced by the entire MMA community was that Dricus has zero gas tank, and once he gets scheduled for a 5-rounder, we're gonna see him gas, crumble, and fall. And guess what? His next fight ended up being for the title, where he ended up going the entire distance and winning the title by split victory. Now we've got people saying that once he fights a striker like Israel Adesanya, he's going to get levels shown on him and new. The fight between him and Izzy plays out, and Dricus does the entire opposite and goes out there against Israel Adesanya, eats some of Izzy's hardest shots, brushes away a lot of his counters, and falls on him, and then ends up subbing him in the 4th round, becoming the first man to ever submit Israel Adesanya. Like, the guy's unpredictable, man, and you really never know what he's gonna hit you with next. Like, 1 second you're blocking a head kick combo, and the next second you're taking a Kamehameha wave to the dome piece. Like, you don't know what this cat's next move is, and he's like an unfinished project you turned 3 weeks late and still ended up passing with full credit. He just finds a way to win somehow. And now, when it comes to the Khamzat Chimaev fight, which is just an inevitability waiting to happen, I've got my namesake Khamzat Boars all the way, but like at the same time, it's also got me thinking that on paper, Khamzat Chimaev does beat Dricus du Plessis. I just don't think Dricus can really read that well. So honestly, anything's possible. And now, coming at the second spot, we've got the current face of the UFC himself, the undisputed light heavyweight champion of the world, Alex Pereira. And as for his ultimate weapon, I think this kind of goes without saying, but it's that goddamn left hook of doom. And look, man, I'm gonna be straight up with you. I'm 100% on board with Yuri Prochazka, because that left hook from Alex Pereira has got to be imbued with some type of Brazilian black magic or something, because the way it just shuts off the lights of these world-class mixed martial artists is actually otherworldly. Now pair that together with his world-class glory kickboxing and his high-level precision and accuracy. No wonder he became a champion in just a year's time, and also because he got fast-tracked, but no wonder he became a champion in just a year's time. And look, the thing about him is that no matter how the fight's playing out or how down he is on the scorecards, that left hook has all the power to make it all even in just a second. From Sean Strickland to Israel Adesanya, many have taken the brunt of this attack, but very few have lived to tell the tale. And now for the number 1 spot, we've got the massively disputed heavyweight champion of the world, the one and only Mr. Johnny Trinidad Jones. And look, let's disregard the personal opinions about this cat real quick. The best thing about Jon Jones has 100% gotta be his fight IQ and his cage battle tactics. I really do believe that Jon Jones' ability to stay focused and remain locked in during a fight is just super unreal, and one of the main aspects of his fight IQ. And while he's naturally talented, he still soaks up game plans effortlessly and executes them with the most precise of precision. And you know, he kind of almost fights like a machine, just dismantling his opponents methodically and predicting their moves and adjusting instantly if they throw something unexpected. Plus, he's really good at listening to his corner and applies their advice exactly how and where and when it's needed. All in all, his fight IQ is just on a different level. But that's all I've got to say for this video. Let me know in the comment section below, what are your thoughts on each and every one of the UFC fighters' strongest attributes or their ultimate weapons? Let me know in the comment section below. But that about wraps up the video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Ciao.